I'm pleased to ask Shujun Lee to come please on stage. You're professor of cybersecurity and the head of the cybersecurity group at the University of Kent in Birmingham. Thank you very much indeed for being here. So I guess I have a very generic, very simple question, and maybe you can answer this question and then answer it again in terms of cybersecurity. Will AI replace humans in the future? It's quite an agenda.
Okay, so thanks. I think first I would like to say I'm also from UK, and I'm British Chinese, and I actually understand zero of French, other than bonjour. And okay, so to answer this question, and I think it depends on when you are talking about, I would say, because in the near future, I would argue that it's impossible for AI to completely replace human, because even with deep learning, we all know, and it's very powerful, it made huge progress recently, like playing video games, like Go, it's already better, much better than human. However, if you look at how actually deep learning really go beyond human, it's normally because they have something we call ground truth, which actually can be automatically generated. So if you think about even a video game, the AI can play a video game without even told what is this game is about. It's because it can repeatedly trying and see what it gets, and then keep guessing, because everything is automated. However, if we look at the more complicated problems like cybersecurity, and actually it's far more complicated than saying something is correct or something is wrong. So we constantly need humans sitting there and say, yes, this is correct, and this is probably not. So that currently still something AI hasn't been able to really do yet. That might happen, let's say in 20, 30, maybe up to 50 years, if something called superintelligence does come, because superintelligence would mean that one day AI might go beyond our way of thinking so that we can't even comprehend what they are doing. That might come, but for now, I don't think in near future that will happen, particularly for security, because AI hasn't been able to truly understand. It's mostly learn based on data. And that is not something actually give meaning of the data.
So I'm always a little bit surprised when we talk about artificial intelligence and we talk about this question of whether AI will replace humans in the future, knowing that we don't even know how our own brains work. I mean, we know so little about it. When it comes to cybersecurity, what's your take on this question? Will AI replace humans in the future?
So, yeah, I think you rightly said that we don't actually even understand how our
ourselves, right?
Yeah, we don't even understand don't understand humans. So if you think about how AI currently works, because they're mostly supervised, they are also unsupervised systems, but eventually they need to be told about what to do. So currently AI mostly in the stage of learning from big data, and this is what deep learning is good at. But really, if you look at human, we are good at learning from very little data and sometimes no data, because we can do very great inference based on experience, for instance. And for cybersecurity, and what that means is all the human analysts, right? The people sitting in the SOC and the experience of what is going on and actually telling us what is actually attack and what is not attack and what kind of attack it is. And for this kind of knowledge, which based on years and years of experience and based on complicated human brains, and as I said before, I don't believe that in the near future, 10 or 20 years, and AI can catch up. No chance.
I'm going to keep on going with a philosophical question again. Humans versus machines, who owns who?
So for this, I have a very sort of not yes, not no answer, because I heard something before about human in the loop. I think it was mentioned. And I truly believe in the future it's not actually something we call human or machines. Actually, we are all together. Because if you look at the current AI algorithms or tools or computer devices with AI, with some intelligence, they are normally used by us as humans. So they are used to enhance our intelligence. In the future, some of the devices will go into our body And there's already some actually implanted devices in our body with some intelligence. This will happen in the future, meaning that actually there's no clear boundary between human brain, human and machines, and it's really about something we call a hybrid. So there is already some very recent call of doing more research on something called hybrid human-machine intelligence. It's actually about they work together. And some other term like human-machine teaming, which is more commonly used in DoD context. And this is recently very much highlighted by DoD in the US and also MOD in the UK. I assume French probably have something similar. And this is really about, we probably can't talk about human or machine on whom we are together in the future.
That was actually the conclusion that we just had right before this talk. Well, that actually brings us to the end of this sequence called Insight. It was really a pleasure, Professor Shujun Li. Did you have anything else to add? We have just a couple of minutes left.
I actually have made some notes on my phone, and while I was listening, of course I can only understand the English part, but I did hear ethics. And I actually want to make a point on that. And one of the reasons why AI can't replace AI yet is not because the super intelligence hasn't come yet. It's actually about we don't actually have full understanding of ethics, privacy, and social responsibility, legal issues. And because I'm from UK, I'm happy to talk about Brexit. And as you all know, and it became law, but who knows if that is correct. So it's just so complicated. When we talk about ethics, legal, privacy, social responsibilities, we really have to come back to humans. So even for that single reason, and AI can't replace human until we can understand those things in a mathematical manner, which then can be implemented by AI. In the scientific fiction, normally they talk about some principles of making AIs, but as we all know, they are flawed in one way or the other. This means we haven't fully understand what ethics and legal and privacy and social responsibilities and so on.
So putting back the human in the loop, that's actually
yes.
The title of this FIC 2020. Shujun Li, thank you very much indeed for that.
If you allow me to give one example of the
Sure.
ethics part and the legal part, it's about driverless cars, right? All of driverless cars, and a huge debate about if we should have driverless cars completely humanless. That is a huge problem about the legal responsibilities, right? If something went wrong, who is responsible for that?
Right.
Is somebody who created? Somebody created rules? The passengers, or somebody walking on a pedestrian? And this is complicated.
It's endless, right.
Then a lot of solutions saying that, oh, let's bring drivers back. We need a red button to make sure we can take control back, like what the British said about Brexit, take control back.
On that note, thank you very much for that. Shujun Li, you can applaud him. Thank you.